Hey, my name is Ashley Jackson, and I want to take you on a journey with me to practice one of the spiritual disciplines. Now, there are a lot of different spiritual disciplines that we can incorporate into our lives. Some of those things are intentional prayer, fasting, making sure we take a Sabbath. There's several others, but I chose solitude. Okay, when I think about the fact that I chose this, first of all, shout out to my introvert friends, because I love, and I mean love, to be alone. So I don't know if it's that much of a difficult one for me because I love it. But the reason why it's difficult is because, girls, if I am honest, I'm overwhelmed right now. Maybe I didn't really want to admit that because, it seems like I can do it. I can do it. But I have a feeling that some of you might also understand what it feels like to be overwhelmed. I'm a mom. My kids just are really back in school now, and we're making the lunches, and we're finding the football cleats. And why do we never know where they are when they literally just wore them yesterday? We have the laundry, we have work, we have all these other things that we are doing. And I think sometimes, if I'm honest, I just say, the Lord will understand. The Lord understands, this is the third time I've heated this coffee up, But what I've really thought about recently is that we sometimes think that when we spend time with God, we're doing what we're supposed to do. We want to be good. We want to be right. We want to check off our list. And we know it's good for us. We've been told maybe for a lot of years, this is good for us. It's what we should do. But what I'm realizing is that actually God wants to give us something through that time. And if we don't create the space for God to give us what we need, then we're functioning in our lives without what we need. And so even if it doesn't look perfect, even if it doesn't look long as I maybe would want it to, and maybe even if it's a little bit hard to come by, it's worth trying to discipline ourselves in the small ways where we can actually receive the things that we need the most. So who knows what this is going to look like, but I want you guys to come with me. So let's see how it goes. Okay, it is day 2, and I haven't quite gotten around to any solitude this morning. It is almost 8 o'clock. I'm on the 3rd reminder to have my son brush his teeth. So, it's a work in progress, but I will let you know how it goes. All right, friends, I just did my solitude right now. I just got to work, and I'm doing my solitude, or I did it a little bit this morning, which you'll see some footage of, and then I also just did it in my car. I literally put on YouTube anti-anxiety music, and it was just so nice. But here's something that I'm seeing and realizing is that Jesus intentionally got away from the noise. And
it seemed like, I think what he was doing was he was remembering who the source was, of what he had to do, of all that he had to, all the people he had to minister to, all the energy he was really expending. He had to return to the source. And there was so much noise and chaos and demands around him. And so I'm realizing, as I was like practicing the solitude in my car, like it's so important for us to also like turn down the noise. And usually in the car, like I'm listening to like podcasts or, sermons or, even music. It's like we're constantly stimulated, constantly. And even if those things are good and they're godly things, sometimes it's just good for our souls to just receive from the Lord. Just what does the Lord want to give to me? Again, like that's what I'm really practicing. And I was thinking about that as well. And that we need to learn to receive the grace of God, like receive his love, receive his mercy, receive the good things that he has for us and the way he feels about us, because we can't give away what we don't have. And so if we are hard on ourselves, then we're going to be hard on those who are around us. And so I think just that stillness of receiving and hearing the voice of God is just so important for us. So I'm still learning, but it's been good.
Well, friends, I made it to the end of this week, and I have to tell you, it was so well worth it. When we do the things that God has asked us to do, it's not so that we can feel guilty if we don't do it. It's actually that God has so much to give to us if we will just listen to him and trust him in those things. So I wanted to read you guys a verse, and it's Mark 6:31, and it says, "And he said to them, 'Come away by yourselves to a secluded place and rest a while.' For there were many people coming and going, and they did not even have time to eat." How often do we feel like that? And the Lord's just saying, come away and get some rest. I would love to invite you to our next First 5 Bible study. It's going to be on the book of Matthew, and it's called A Better Way to Live. Jesus gives us peace in a world that steals our sanity. Isn't that the truth? We would love for you to join and find the rest that your soul needs.